The next game on our agenda, is Raiders at Ravens. Why does sleeper tab? There we go. Gardner Minshew against Lamar Jackson. I wonder who I have ranked higher here. The quarterbacks are 14th best matchup for Gardner Minshew. Lamar gets the 25th best matchup. Doesn't matter to me. Lamar is QB4 for me this week. Gardner is probably, 31. The only starting quarterback he's ranked higher than for me is Will Levis. No interest in starting Minshew. I am playing Lamar everywhere, but that's no surprise to anyone. I don't think anybody is ever sitting Lamar Jackson. The running backs were an interesting situation for Vegas. Played out how I kind of suggested during the offseason, but not how many people suggested. Zamir White was not just the bell cow and is now looks to be in a split with Alexander Mattison, who looks to be getting all the pass catching work. On the Baltimore side of things, we have Derrick Henry and Justice Hill. Henry was disappointing last week. That's going to happen in the weeks where the Ravens are underdogs. This week, they're going to be heavy favorites. Derrick Henry is going to be rode right into the ground. He's top 10 for me. This week, he is number 9 overall. I don't think I have either Raider inside the top 30. I have Zamir White at 36. Alex Madison at 47. I don't really have any interest in either of them except out of desperation. Firing up Henry everywhere. Henry is the 9th best matchup for running backs. Madison gets the 23rd best, so it's also not a great matchup for the Raiders. The wide receivers here, we have Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers on the Raiders, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Nelson Aguilar, blah, 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 a bunch of garbage on the other side here once we get down the depth chart. I'm sure my highest ranked is going to be Devontae Adams. It is, but they're all ranked pretty low. Devontae Adams, oh no, yes it is. Devontae Adams at 24 for me. Zay Flowers at 26. I don't really have any interest in anyone else here. I'm sure I might have Jacoby Myers in streaming range, but he is down. No, he's not, I guess, 51. So I have 2 low to mid-range wide receiver 2s here, and then I don't really want to start anyone else. 17th best matchup for the Ravens. 6th best matchup for the Raiders. I don't know. This Raiders offense looked pretty ugly. Might be Brock Bowers, who's the number 1 target on the Raiders, which is a scary notion. If you have Devontae Adams, you're still firing him up. I'm starting to check my expectations a bit there. That team did not look good against a bad Chargers defense last week. The tight ends are the interesting part for the Raiders. Bowers has the 6th best matchup. Got Michael Mayer there too, who factored in a little bit. 15th best matchup for Mark Andrews with Isaiah Likely there. I'm not necessarily buying in on the Isaiah Likely hype. I think teams are going to have to stop double teaming Mark Andrews and play this straight up. So Andrews should rebound this week. He's still only my tight end 7. I've got Isaiah Likely at 11. Brock Bowers is the highest I've had him ranked in a while. Well, I guess since the offseason. He is tight end 10 for me right now. So I think you've got a couple of guys stream worthy there. Isaiah Likely is not ideal, but there's situations where I could play him. Can I expand on Marvin Harrison Jr. over BTJ? Oh, I didn't even see that in there. I'm not taking BTJ over Marvin Harrison Jr. I get that people are overreacting to 1 week, but the Dolphins were a bad defense. I get that Bills aren't the greatest defense either, but I don't think there's any way that Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't outproduce Brian Thomas Jr. this year. And Brian Thomas Jr. did look pretty good, but I think the problem in week 1 was the average depth of target for Marvin Harrison Jr. was like 12.5 yards, and that's a tough way to win in the NFL. So they're going to have to, start working him in the shorter areas of the field, and I think he's going to be just fine. I think he bounces back this week. Brian Thomas Jr., I think there's a couple of decent players there. Christian Kirk, I don't hate Gabe Davis, so I don't think he has it all to himself, whereas Marvin Harrison Jr., it's him and a tight end. So I'm still taking Harrison. I get it. BTJ looked great. Harrison was awful. Don't overreact. It's 1 week.